Today's class is, I've called it morning yoga. It's morning yoga in the sense that it's that perfect class to start the day with or to energize yourself with later in the afternoon, because what we're going to do is focus on just mobilizing through the spine, so awakening some of the fascia that gets a little dehydrated through the night and is kind of rested because we haven't moved much during the night. And then those of you who are later in the day, it's perfect for you as well, because you've got this feeling of ease that will come in from having sat down through the day or periods of time at least as well. I intend to work our way around the hips a little bit as well. So I'll guide your awareness to where you might feel sensation as we flow. And I want you to just tune in and notice. So notice how it feels on one side compared to the other. Notice which directions, when we twist, for example, feel easier, which ones have a little resistance. So it's kind of a morning practice in the sense that you're becoming in tune with your body. And we're going to start in a position that is lying down, but it's an energizing one. So you're going to grab your blocks and we're going to set them up so that one is on the second or third height, and that's for your head. Okay, so your head will rest on that. And then the second block is on the second height, and that's going to sit just beneath your rib cage. Okay, sorry, just beneath the shoulder blade area. Okay, just beneath or with the bra line for the ladies. And if that doesn't feel comfortable on you, grab a bolster and put a bolster behind you instead. All right, so setting yourself up with the legs nice and relaxed, and ever so slowly lying yourself down so that the base of your shoulder blades rest onto that first block, and then lying yourself down, making sure the hair doesn't get in the way, and you're going to rest your head onto the block there. Second or third height, whatever suits you best, but please make sure that all four corners of the block are nicely on the ground. And if you're anything like me, your back is starting to click, and that's okay. It's a little releasing and popping of the fascia there. And then our arms are going to come out a little bit wider than the body. The feet are going to fall freely in whichever direction they naturally do. And if this doesn't feel comfortable, I want you to just take a moment to either lie on your back or grab a bolster or cushion to put behind your back instead. And the idea is to come briefly to this moment of stillness together before the practice of moving begins. So take your time to set that shape up. Use the props that feel best for your body. And know that this practice is designed for you to explore what it is that your body needs, rather than trying to be perfect in any shape or form. The perfect practice is adapting it to your needs. Once you've found the position that suits your needs, just go ahead and close your eyes here. Close your eyes. And just take a moment to arrive into your body, into this shape, into the practice. Letting go of any attachment to what was going on in the moments before this one. All of the things that you were seeing or reading, talking about, thinking about. And then take a moment to let go of any anticipation or thinking about the future. And sometimes it can be easy to start our day, or when we get to that mid-afternoon point, to start to analyze how things might look ahead. And then we lose the ability to be present in the moment. So I want you to really come to the breath as a focus for your mind, using the breath awareness as an anchor for your mind. So let's just take a moment to notice how it feels to breathe today. So as you breathe in, let's try to breathe in through the nose. Carrying that breath down through the throat, into the lungs, and that awareness of the gentle expansion in all directions of the lungs. And the ribs lifting upward and outward. Tissues in between the ribs start to expand. And we create this sense of space in the front of the body here. And on the exhale, just becoming aware of all of those areas that expanded, just slowly coming back towards center. And then energy working its way back out through the throat, through the nose or the mouth. And every inhale, just a little more awareness of the fullness of the breath. How much space physically you create in the upper body. Awareness of space around the belly, the softening and relaxation of the belly and the chest. And this feeling of letting go on the exhale, letting go of control. Opening ourselves up to what comes next without needing to worry about it. And I want you to just take 2 more breaths to yourself here. And as you breathe in, just say to yourself, I'm aware that I'm breathing in. And as you breathe out, I'm aware that I'm breathing out. Last one. And just notice how you're feeling, how your mood is, how your energy is. And if you happen to have the block under your head on the 3rd height, just very slowly open the eyes, lift the head, release the block down to the 2nd height, if that's manageable for you. And I want you to just slowly, wherever you are, whatever props you're using, reach the arms up overhead, point the toes away from the center of the body. Full body stretch, and then spread the fingers, spread the toes. It's like you're waking up the tissues in between, reminding the muscles whose job it is to spread the fingers and toes that that's their job. Big, big breath, big lift of the heart. And then relax the legs, but can you cactus the arms? So it's a bend of the elbows, palms are still facing up, elbows are reaching down towards the ground, and some of us will touch the floor, most of us will not. So just see how that feels. And then as you inhale now, straighten out the arms. So the palms face towards each other, fingertips reach away behind you. And again, you might touch the ground, you might not. We're going to do that 3 more times. On the exhale, bend the elbows, cactus the arms, elbows and backs of the hands towards the ground. And then inhale, straighten the arms out, palms facing towards each other, fingers away. 2 more times. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach the arms away. 1 more time. Exhale, cactus the arms. Nice. And then inhale, reach the arms away. Big breath here, staying here for the inhale and the exhale. And then let's slowly walk the hands back to earth. Bring a bend into the knees, feet to the floor. Push into the forearms. Gently lift the chin towards the chest, lifting yourself away from the blocks. Then just remove the blocks from behind you. Keep one of them in your hand and lie yourself back down. Keep the bend in the knees. And now place the block on the 1st height, okay? So the smallest height, underneath your sacrum, underneath your pelvic bowl. And then I want you to extend the left leg away from you. And then ever so slowly begin to lift the right foot. Draw the knee in towards the chest and interlace your fingers either around the back of the leg or the front of the shin. Okay, let the left leg be pretty relaxed for now. And I want you to just very lightly draw that right knee towards you. And we're not forcing anything here, okay? We're just starting to awaken the front body, which is our main purpose today. Finding space through the front of the body and yet still mobilizing into the hips and spine. Notice how this feels through the front of the left hip. So fascia starting to melt away from other layers of fascia. Muscles beneath the fascia starting to have a little bit more freedom to move, which is one of our goals. Maybe that leg draws a little closer towards you again here, who knows? And just explore how that feels. Okay, let's take another breath here. And when that breath is finished, release the right knee, foot comes to the ground, and then bend the left knee, foot to the ground. Straighten out the right leg, nice slow motions and movements. When the leg is straight, pick up the left foot, bend the knee, draw it in towards your chest, and interlace the fingers again around the front of the left shin or knee, or maybe the back of the leg. And just let the right leg straighten out if you didn't already. Shoulders stay relaxed. Muscles around the tongue, around the mouth, the throat area. The forehead space relaxed. And just notice how this side feels compared to the other. So this side is always a little more tricky for me, a little more sensitive. So nothing is rushed, remember. Nothing is forced. Little bit of time and gravity. And then we're going to get deeper into these muscles as we start to move. A slower practice today to just awaken and release the cobwebs. Awaken the energy, release the cobwebs. Take another big breath. Notice how that knee draws a little closer to the body potentially. And then very slowly release the left knee, left foot to the ground, right knee bends, right foot also to the earth. And then lift the hips, take the hands to the block and release the block here. And now hug the knees into the chest, take hold of the back of the thighs and just rock and roll yourself back and forth along the length of the mat, massaging into the back of the spine. And then eventually we're going to rock and roll ourselves all the way up to a cross-leg-ish position. Okay, so a cross leg position. And then once you're in your cross leg position, I want you to interlace the fingers here in front of you. And then take the palms and reach them towards me. So palms of the hands towards me. And as you do that, sit up tall, draw the chin towards the chest, round the upper back. Okay, so you've got this kind of separating of the shoulder blades. So a little awakening of the fascia in the upper back here. And the muscles in between the shoulder blades are the muscles that move the shoulder blades. So just finding a little bit of ease there. And then go ahead and reach the palms of the hands up towards the sky. So you're lengthening the spine here. Okay, and then I want you to just slowly keep reaching the palms up. Just lean ever so slowly over to your left. So you're feeling it through the right side body. I'm mirroring you. Come back up through center, inhale. On the exhale, go over to the opposite side. Notice how it feels through the lower back and the ribs. And then inhale, come all the way back up to a seat. Now release the fingers, interlace the hands behind the back, and a nice lift of the chest. Okay, so the sternum and collarbone lifting up, and palms or the hands are reaching away from the lower back, so it's a nice lift. And you'll feel it through the front of the chest. And we're going to do that little circuit one more time. So interlace the fingers in front of your body now. Palms reach away from you. Chin towards the chest, rounding of the upper back, shoulder blades separate. And then palms lift up to the sky, so we lengthen the spine, axial extension. And then from here, we just slowly on the exhale move over to our left, so we feel it through the right side body. Inhale back through to center, and then on our exhale over to the opposite direction, feeling it through the left side. Nice. We come back up to center, we release the fingers, we interlace them behind the back now. Lift the heart a little more, reach the hands a little further away from the lower back. Big breath. And then slowly release the hands to the knees. Take a couple of rolls of the shoulders there. And then when you've rolled the shoulders a couple of times, just roll yourself over now into tabletop position. Hips are above the knees, okay? Fingers are nice and wide. Shoulders above the wrist. On the inhale, let's soften the belly, reach the heart forward. Draw the chest forward, shoulders back. Tailbone naturally lifts. And as you exhale, push the ground away, rounding through the spine. Chin draws to the chest, shoulder blades separate again here. And then close your eyes. We're going to take 3 rounds of movement, just awakening the fascia that connects upper and lower body in the lower back area, awakening the fascia and muscles that run along the front and back of the spine here. Just awakening the body for those of you who've just woken. And those of you who have spent portions of your day so far sitting down, carrying tension, potentially. Last one. And when you finish that last one, just come back to neutral here, okay? Keep the hips above the knees. Slowly, slowly walk the fingers forwards, melting heart pose. So chin or forehead down towards the ground. Fingers are nice and active. And it's almost like you're lifting the hips up towards the sky. And just notice how that feels around the front of the chest, the back of the arms. Use the breath as an indicator as to how your state of well-being is. Short, shallow breaths means that we tend to be a little busy in our mind, a little fear mode. Longer, deeper, more relaxed breaths are kind of where we're heading. Take another breath here. And then when that breath is finished, just begin to lift the chest away from the ground, and let's take the hands back to being underneath the shoulders here, okay? All right, so we're gonna move the fingers a little touch forward, tuck those toes under, lift the knees, coming up to downward facing dog. Adjust the hands and feet as you need to, and let's walk the dog here. So explore as you lift one heel, bend the same knee, how it feels through the back of the ankles. How does it feel through the calf muscles? How does it feel through the hamstrings? And as you push the ground away with the hands, notice how high you can lift the hips. So you're elongating the spine, lifting and lengthening the spine. Okay, so we've moved our spine in all of the directions apart from one so far, which is the twisting motion. So just becoming aware of how this feels. One more round of moving, just like this. And then you'll pause into stillness and take the feet just a little closer, maybe an inch or so, towards the heels of your hands. Put the weight into your right hand, and you're going to pick up left hand, take it across to the outside of right ankle or shin, and just twist your upper body over towards the right side of the room. Okay, it might not be very deep twist, no problem. This is a little thoracic spine awakener, upper back. And then you'll place left hand back down to the ground, swapping arms now. Right arm across to the outside of left ankle or shin. And your torso reaching over to left side of the room. Head is relaxed, neck is relaxed. Big, big breath. And then we release the hand to the ground and look to your feet. Walk your hands towards your feet. So you're in forward fold at the back of your mat. Turn the toes outward and just bend the knees, sink into Malasana. So first awareness of the inner thigh for some of us. And I want you to just, let me move so you can see me easier. Use your elbows to push into the legs. Okay, use your arms if you can. And just rock a little bit from side to side. Some of you might need blocks under your heels. And just notice how this feels around the groin. I want you to lift up. So your hands are really pressing firmly against each other. Lift up so the collarbone is nice and broad. And just say good morning to the adductor muscles, your inner thigh muscles. When we are fearful, when we're busy in our thoughts, when we're sitting down a lot, these muscles can get super duper tight. Okay, they can also get weak from underuse, which represents itself as tightness also. Take another breath. And then where you are, pause in stillness, right arm in front of right leg, fingers to the ground. And if this is manageable for you, twist and reach left hand up to the sky. So Malasana with a twist. Big breath here. Can you draw the ribs, chest and shoulder back? And then you'll guide yourself back to center here. Sit tall on your inhale. And on the exhale, opposite arm to the ground, twisting, and the other arm to the sky. How does it feel to draw the top ribs, chest and shoulder back? Big, big breath. And then just slowly come back to center. And once you're there, release the hands back down to the ground and straighten out the legs. Readjust the feet to face forward as you walk back to downward facing dog. Okay, so you're walking back to downward facing dog. Look to the top of the mat. Soften the knees. Hop, step or jump to the top. And as you arrive, halfway lift. Come up a little higher than you might normally, so you feel it through the back of the legs and the spinal muscles working here. And then exhale, fold. And as you fold, bend the knees if you need to. Notice how it feels through the back of the legs. So every forward fold, every downward dog that we do, notice how that feels. Lightly draw the belly in, roll yourself up vertebrae by vertebrae. A little articulation for the spine here. Standing tall. And then bring the hands to meet together at heart center. Nice broad collarbone. Push down through all of the points of the feet here. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Maybe interlace the fingers above the head. Exhale over to your left, feeling it through the right side body. Inhale back up through to center, and on your exhale over to the other side. Come back through to center, a little lift of the heart, still grounded through the feet. And then exhale nice and slowly, hinge from the hips, hands to the ground, forward fold. And then once you get there, step the right foot back. Knee comes to the earth, foot to the floor, lift up through those fingers. So sink into the hips. Notice how it feels to really rise tall. And I want you to visualize everything from the belly button down, reaching downward, everything from the belly button up, lifting. Sink a little deeper here. Let's turn the palms to face forward, a little like we did at the beginning, cactus the arms. So you're bending the elbows to be parallel to the ground. Grip the earth with your feet, lift up with the heart, and I want you to draw the shoulder blades back towards each other. Okay, gaze can be up, it can be forward. Left big toe might try to peel away from the earth, so push it down. Notice how it feels through the front of that right hip here as well. Nice big breath. And then let's take right hand to the ground, simple twist, left hand to the sky, shoulders, ribs, chest, drawing back here. Notice how that feels. And then go ahead and tuck right toes under, lift the knee, and I want you to guide yourself onto the outside edges of your feet. So the soles of the feet are facing forward and back. Right hip lowers down to the earth, left hand reaching back, and it's going to feel tight potentially on the outer hip. Take a big breath here. And then guide the hands and feet to face forwards. Take the right heel down and cartwheel yourself up to warrior two. So you're facing the side of the room, warrior two. Okay, sink down into the hips, equal weighting in the feet for now. Take a nice big breath. And then let's flip left palm up, hand reaches up and back. Right hand is traveling down the right leg. So you're getting into the side body here, awakening through the hips and groin a little, strengthening through the glutes on the outer hips. Take a nice big breath. And then come back up to standing, and once you get there, hands to heart center. Okay, straighten out left leg, come onto the heel of the foot, and just slowly adjust right foot to the back corner. Sink down towards skandasana. Some of you might use your hands to get there, that's okay. Some of you might be a little higher up like this, also okay. Aware of how it feels through the inner thigh here. Take a breath. Say good morning to the hips. And then hands to the ground. Turn yourself to face the back of your mat and lower left knee down. Come onto the top of the foot, fingers reach up to the sky. Okay, sink down into the hips. Belly draws in and up. We're going to do the same thing on the second side. Sink a little deeper. Interlace the fingers this time behind the back. Lift the heart, lift the chest. Hands are reaching away from the ground. Sink a little deeper, lift a little higher. Notice how it feels in this direction. Right big toe planted nicely to the earth. And then we're going to slowly release the hands, look down, left hand to the earth, simple twist, right hand up to the sky, ribs, chest and shoulder drawing back. Take a moment to tuck the left toes under, lift the knee, navigate your way onto the outside edges of both feet, so the left hip draws down towards the ground, right hand reaching back. Notice how it feels through the outer hip here. Nice big breath. And then look to the top of the mat, feet and hands to the top of the mat. Place left heel down, 90-degree angle. And then inhale, warrior two, second side. Okay, second side. Sink down into the hips, fingers strong as they reach away from each other. Flip the right palm up, hand reaches up and back, left hand lightly traveling down, left thigh. Notice how it feels through the side body. Notice how it feels through the groin. The power of the outer hips. Big, big breath. Relax the jaw. Come slowly, mindfully back to warrior two. Once you're there, hands to heart center. Straighten out right leg, come onto the heel, and adjust the left foot to the corner of the mat, coming back towards the top of the mat, skandasana. Remember, you might not be at the same place you were on the first side. You might need to use your hands on the ground. Hands might be at the heart. Notice how this feels through the groin. Lifting chest, collarbone broad here. Big breath. And then hands to the ground. Turn to face the top of the mat. So you're on the ball of the back foot. And now step back to plank. Heels reach away. Hands push the earth away. Upper back broad. Some of us will go to down dog. Some of us are going to travel to chaturanga. And then come all the way down to the ground. From here, baby cobra. So just a little lift of the chest. Push down through the tops of the feet so you feel the power of the legs. And then lower your chest down to the earth. Keep the hands where they are. Push into the hands. Lift up through the back body. Strong with the legs. Cobra. A little higher. And just feel that awakening through the front of the body. Let's stay here for an extra breath. And then tuck the toes under. Ever so slowly lift back up through to plank, finding our way to downward facing dog. Use the hands to push the earth away. Lift the hips nice and high. Thighs reaching back. Slowly checking in and noticing how we're doing. Take a breath. Notice how the hamstrings are. Notice the space around the chest, around the heart, a little inversion for just a moment longer. And then gaze to the middle of the mat. Soften your knees. Walk your feet just beyond the mat here. Okay? Bend the knees and a cheeky little chair pose here. So sink into those hips. Fingers rise. Nice big breath. Thighs are reaching in towards each other. A little bit of heat in the legs. Little bit of work for the glutes, the quads, hamstrings as well. And then we're going to very slowly navigate our way down to the ground on our bottom. And if you can, bring the shins to be parallel to the ground. A little awakening of the core before Shavasana. Okay, some of us might lower left toe to the ground, bring it back up. Right toe to the ground, bring it back up. Some might go the other way, lifting left leg up, and bringing it back. Otherwise, we're here, chest lifted, lower back strong. Feet can stay on the ground if you prefer. We've got one more breath. And then lower the feet to the ground. Take the knees out nice and wide for bound angle. Interlace the fingers around the toes here. Sit tall with the chest, lifting long through the spine. Keep the collarbone broad. On the exhale, begin to fold forward. Notice how it feels through the lower back. Notice how it feels through the groin. A little bit of heat, a little bit of awakening. A little bit of space, mobility through the spine, through the hips. Check into how your mood is, how your energy is doing. Let the breath start to slow down. Keep that lightness, that playfulness, and softness around the mouth, around the jaw. Take another breath here. And then release the feet. Just gently roll yourself up. Bring a hand under the knees and place the feet ahead of you. Now you're going to pick your left foot up and cross the ankle over the right knee. Flex the foot here. Okay, hands to the ground, and you've got the choice. We're trying to stretch out through the outer left hip, so you can lift the bottom, move it closer to the right foot, and then use the hands to sit you up nice and tall. Okay, so you're feeling it through the outer left hip. And you're in control of the shape, so you can bring your bottom closer or further away from the right heel and modify it as you need. Keep that collarbone broad, so we're not kind of just hanging out here, really lifted. Take another breath. When that breath is finished, walk the hands back, lift the bottom, take the bottom back, and then release left foot down. Let's swap straight away. Right ankle over left knee. Hands to the earth, we lift the bottom, we walk in closer to the left thigh, we push into the hands, we lift with the heart, nice and broad through the chest. Right foot flex, toes back towards the knee. Notice how the outer hip is doing. How does that feel? And nice and light, remember, tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Choosing how we move into the rest of our day. With calmness, with awareness, compassion to ourselves, to others, space in our body, space in our mind, that ability to pause before we react to anything destined for us today. Last breath. And then walk those hands back, lift the bottom, release the foot down to the ground, make sure you have space behind you to lie down. And then go ahead and just slowly make your way onto your back, coming into Shavasana. If you prefer to stay seated for Shavasana, feel free. Arms wherever you need them. Let the feet fall freely in either direction. Closing the eyes once you're settled, and just let the whole of the back line of the body connect to the ground. Melting down towards the earth, free of any effort. Focused on the breath and this sense of ease arriving into your body and your mind. This opportunity to pause. And those of you who have the time and opportunity to stay here a little longer, please do. And those of you finishing the class with me, just beginning to bring the smallest movements into the fingers and the toes. And beginning to reach the arms up overhead, a nice long full body stretch. Draw the knees in towards your chest, giving them a hug, maybe even a little roll from side to side. Eventually rolling over onto whichever side feels best for you. Using the hands to push the ground away as you lift yourself up to a comfortable seat. And just notice how you're feeling in the body and the mind, how the breath is. And let's see if we can carry this feeling of ease, this feeling of space in the mind and the body with us into the rest of our day, the rest of this new week ahead of us. Bring the hands together at heart center. Bowing our head to the hands in gratitude for our practice, in gratitude for our health. Namaste.